Hey everyone, it's Kimmy. I am Mama on a Mission, and today I have my Monday Ship With Me video. That's where I take you along with me. I tell you all about my weekend sales, what sold, how much sold, all those things, and then I show you how I package them up, and we kind of chat about a few things in between. So I hope you guys had a great weekend. I actually really am starting to love these Monday Ship With Me's. I hope you guys do too. It's where we can talk a little bit, well, mostly about the business and the reselling game, and then throw in a little bit of personal stuff just because you all are my internet friends. So I had a very busy but productive weekend. If you jumped on my Whatnot show, which was on Sunday, it went for over 3 hours. I was exhausted. I had mentioned that also on Saturday, I had a bunch of things going on. My son had a football game. My other son had homecoming. So I love that part about my reselling business is, although I did work many hours on Sunday, on Saturday, I still made money and I didn't work at all. So that's always great, right? So let's get to the numbers. You guys check in. How are your weekend sales? How were your weekend sales? Are things picking up? What are you doing, with your business? I love when you guys check in and tell me how you're doing. So these sales, I ship Monday through Friday, occasionally on a Saturday as well. I didn't this Saturday. So these sales are from Saturday and Sunday. Comparatively to the last 2 weekends, my sales are up, which is great. As you guys know, September I was really working hard to be more consistent in my business, and I do think that is paying off a little bit. So that's great. Here are the numbers. Saturday and Sunday, so 2 days. eBay, I did $200.85. $200.85. Poshmark actually came in clutch with some very solid high dollar amount sales. I'm excited to show you guys. It was $185 in sales, and I only had 5 sales. So do the math there. The average sales price is quite a bit. It's over $30, but really that's because a couple of the items sold in the $60 range. So you definitely want to stay to see those. And Depop was a big goose egg. I got problems. There's going to be a video coming out about that. Oh, my life is always chaotic, but I guess that keeps it fun and interesting on my channel because you guys get to live these things with me. There's a problem with my Depop. We're not going to talk about it now. There's another video that will be coming. Reselling, someone commented on one of my own videos reminding me that reselling isn't for the faint of heart, and I really appreciated that because it was a good reminder to myself. Reselling isn't for the faint of heart, and I got problems on the Depop. It was a big goose egg. So my total for 2 days, essentially on 2 platforms, was $385.85. I think that's fantastic. I'm very happy with that. No complaints here. I also did a Whatnot show on Sunday. My sisters helped me. If you're not on Whatnot or you don't follow me on Whatnot, you should definitely go on there. Mama on a Mission 44. And then my sisters, I tag them in stuff all the time. They also sell on Whatnot. And we all did a Whatnot together. And I sold $365.61 worth of merchandise on Sunday on Whatnot only. 17 shipments. I got to get going. I got a lot to do this morning. When I post this, I usually post it Monday afternoon. So by the time this gets posted, hopefully I'm on my way to the post office with a giant load of shipments. So my total for the weekend, including Whatnot, is 31 shipments and $751.46 in sales. That's a big weekend. That's a busy weekend, especially if you consider, like, my boys Friday night had homecoming activities. Saturday morning, my son had football for hours away, obviously, and it was an hour away. And then Saturday, I had other homecoming activities for my other son, the dance and, all the things. So, plus all these sales and a 3-hour Whatnot show. That's why I look like this. How are we doing? I started writing a note about all the t-shirts I want to make of things we say on this channel. My friends, just different kitschy things we've said over time that I think are kind of funny. I don't even remember. That's why I have to take notes and write things down, because I always forget. But there you have it. There's my weekend total, all the things that I did. I have a lot of orders. My office is in the basement. So once I get all 31 shipments packed up, your girl, good thing I got these big muscles, not really, has to haul them all up into my vehicle and bring them to the post office. I have been trying to do some more USPS pickups. If you didn't know, you can have USPS do a free pickup for you, but you have to schedule it a day ahead of time. And I'm usually not that good a day before. I would have had to schedule this yesterday, and I just was not able to do it. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way with a little muscle, grit and grind, and then we'll get it there ourselves. Yeah, so we have some really interesting sales here. Some really cool things to show you. Some honestly, a couple high-priced items that sold, which is fantastic. Style-based, a couple items that I just picked up. In fact, I dropped a haul video like 2-3 days ago, and one of these items is from that haul. So I barely had it a week. Yeah, lots of good things. So let's get started. What do I want to ship first? All of these things, some great style-based pieces. Where is that one item? My voice is a little crackly, I will say, talking. And my sister's helped. Like, my sister took over the show at one point because my back was hurting so bad and I couldn't talk anymore. That my sister took over, which was fine. But if you hear some cracklies, it's because we were wooing on whatnot and talking for hours and hours yesterday. It was a lot. Now, if you follow my other social medias, I talked about these items. I did also show them in a haul video. I found a lot of vintage pantyhose at the bin. So on my other social medias like Instagram and Facebook, I post little shorts about random things that have value, and I posted about these. So if you find them still in package, like in the plastic, they can be worth money and at the bins. So these cost me 20 cents. I found like 6 or 7 of them. I have had them listed for a week and 2 have already sold. And at the bin, and they're so easy to list. You don't really have to measure anything. You take a few pictures, you put in the information. If you're wondering why I kept this Goodwill tag on, it's because it started to pull away from the plastic and I didn't want it to be opened. And I literally took a picture of it with this Goodwill sticker right on it. Because if I pulled the sticker off, then the whole plastic would rip off and then it technically would not still be new in package. So I left it on there. Leg Moods, queen size pantyhose, reinforced toe cotton panel. And they always have these little size charts on the back. Expressly made for Kohl's. You can see the original clearance price is $1.60 for a pair of pantyhose. Way back when, I don't know, made in the USA. So now, if you don't follow me on my other social medias, you should, my friends, you should. But if you don't, now you know, because I posted about how this is kind of a bolo. If you find it for super cheap at the bins, 20 cents, it literally took me 3 minutes, if that, to list this on eBay. And I've already sold 2 for $9.99 plus shipping. So each of them, I'm taking, if they cost me 20 cents a piece, I found 6 of them. That's $1.20 total cost. They're selling for $10 a piece. So I'm taking $1.20 cost investment from the Goodwill Outlet bins, and I'm essentially turning it into $60. $1.20 to $60. And I think that's great. You guys tell me. But because I'm not taking offers on these. They're selling for $9.99. No problem. Boom. Done. Pantyhose. In my poly mailer it goes. I have a... Oh, how cute. Yep, I'm lame. I get these cute poly mailers. And we'll get my first shipment off here because I have a lot to go. A lot to go. 14 shipments that we're gonna go through here, and then I have 17 more whatnots. And somehow your big girl here has to get them all to the vehicle and to the post office. So this only is 2 ounces, and that's why it only cost me 20 cents at the bins. My bins is $1.59 per pound. So 10 cents an ounce. This was 2 ounces, 20 cents. Going down to Jacksonville, Florida. And even though it's only 2 ounces, going down to Jacksonville, Florida, it's still $4.76, which is fine. And away we go. So, you know, kind of an interesting item there. And I really am thinking about getting into or trying to learn more about different items than just clothes. You guys know I mostly do just clothes, and I think I want to learn. I've done hard goods in the past, just very random things, and I would say it's like 5 or 10% of my business. Most of the time I don't even really talk about it on here. Very random things that I pick up, but I really want to kind of open my. That's really not a hard good. It's still clothes. I'm just saying I've been thinking about hard goods a lot lately. All right, let's talk about another awesome sale here. Vintage velvet floral maxi skirt, size 910. It was union made in the USA, and I put the word grunge. This is grungy, gothic, fairy goth. Look at this beautiful print. This is velvet. You know, I'm talking to you guys about velvet all through fall. Stunning velvet skirt here with this beautiful dark floral print. And here's the tag. If you find anything with this tag, it's a, there we go. I gotta learn how to get these things to zoom in better. Union made tag, made in the USA. It's vintage. Pretty much, as far as I know, 100% of the time. But I'll say 99% of the time, just in case there's an anomaly in there. But just this stunning vintage velvet floral skirt, sold for $32 plus shipping on Poshmark. And that is a great sale. And honestly, this is a beautiful item. The one thing I think that I love so much about vintage items is that, I mean, getting this from the bins, which is where I got this from, it's a step away from going into the garbage. Or who knows where. I mean, this means that either they didn't find the value enough to put it in a store, or was in the store so long that it got rotated out of a store and thrown into the outlet bins. And after that, you know, there's lots of places it goes, but I do know that a lot of it ends up in a landfill and in, you know, incinerator. I just don't want the vintage items. They're never going to be made again. So I'm really happy someone appreciates this. It sold for $32. A great vintage skirt going out to Hannah in Oregon. And since this is Poshmark, they obviously supply the shipping label. Just to remember that now it's not priority mail anymore, right? We have to use either the Ground Advantage supplies or use your own supplies. And I think that's a fantastic sale. I made about $23 on that skirt. Boom, done. How was your guys' weekend? What did you, we have to get in that food conversation. What did you guys have for food? My son, after his football game, we always let him pick like a lunch after his football games. He picked Panda Express. We don't eat out a ton, I would say. Like, I feel like it's not never, but it's not every day. And we do like Panda Express. It was good. He likes the orange chicken there. This is New with Tags Swimsuit for All Cover Up. New with Tags Swimsuit for All. It's actually really pretty. Definitely has like the beachy vacation, coastal type of vibes here. And it's a cover up. It's polyester. It's got the big batwing like dolman sleeves, so it's nice and loose and casual. You just throw it over your dress or your swimsuit or whatever you're doing down by the pool. This did take a little while to sell. I was surprised because it was new at tags, but sometimes that's the way it goes. This sold for only $12 on Poshmark. And again, I don't know why it took so long, but I'm happy to move it. I think it's a really nice item, new at tags, and since it's on Poshmark, I just throw it in my little poly mailer. That it will be the one thing if I get more into hard goods is shipping a lot of clothes is not as hard as hard goods is, especially if you get into glass, breakables, larger items, heavier items. You know, I see people sell golf clubs and I'm like, I don't want to have to make a box to ship golf clubs. That sounds terrible. You know, a lot of my clothes, I just throw in my cute little poly mailers and away they go because it's really not breakable and it's pretty easy to do. So if I get into hard goods, that will definitely be something I have to think about, is how I'm gonna store the items, the amount of time and energy in order to, you know, ship them if I need to make a box, things like that. Now this is a very awesome sale. If you're with me and you're still listening, this is a good one to listen to. I talked about this in a haul video maybe about 2 months ago. It's a brand I had never found before. It's called Wool Power. Wool Power. There's a tag for you. It had this and looked like they were really serious about their logo. They put it on the back collar. Responsibly made in Sweden. This is a 400-gram wool full zip sweater vest in a men's size medium. All those reasons why to pick this up. I found 2 of these at a regular Goodwill, a regular thrift store, not a Goodwill, and this was $4.99. And I knew, since it said it was from Sweden, the wool blend, you know, it had all these things. I thought it was going to sell in the 40 range, and then I looked up solds, and I shared it with you guys on a haul video, and this sold for $60 plus shipping on Poshmark. It makes perfect sense that it's selling right now, right, guys? It's fall. It was hot this weekend, but we're finally seeing some cooler temperatures coming in. There's some 40s, lows 40s coming into Wisconsin here, so things are changing. So I paid $5 for this. It sold for $60. After fees, listen to me, after fees, Poshmark is going to give me $48. So I paid $5 minus the $5. I'm making $43 on this Wool Power vest. And honestly, it's a very quality item. If you look up how much these sell, they're like $200 vests. And yes, they're made in Sweden. So a really quality item, a great sale. I was happy to find it and happy to sell it, obviously. That's a great profit. I would really be buying myself some new tank tops and getting my hair done if I could do that all the time. Make $43 profit on this item is fantastic. We still have plenty of time. Find your warmer items. Think cozy, think lounge, wool, warmth, base layers, anything for outdoor activities in winter, snow, skiing, snowmobiling, ice skating, any of those types of activities for the next month or two. Still plenty of time to find those items and to list them. This is going to Maryland. And away it goes. That was a Poshmark sale, and a great sale at that. Like I said, Poshmark only had 5 sales, but one was $32, one was $60, and here we'll just get it out of the way. If you're making it to 20 minutes, you're seeing some of the better items. We still have some good items left here to show you, some style-based. Here's the other one. This was just on a haul video. In fact, it's part of my thumbnail. I'm like this. Look at this one. I love this item. And it's sold. This is Sundance. See, just like my title. If you want to go back to that video, it's literally, I think, my last video before this, or 2 videos ago. I found this at a garage sale. They asked $5 for it. Sundance women's tan suede leather with a shearling accent fur vest, full zipper, size medium. I talked about all the style words I was going to use for that. A really, really beautiful piece. This sold for $62. In my video, I believe I said I was going to list it for $40. And then, you know, a lot of times I go and I double check when I'm listing my items. I look at sold, I look at comps if it's not one of my bread and butter type of items to just make sure I'm pricing competitively. And there wasn't a lot of these vests. So I was like, we're going into the season. I'm going to pump her up. Pump you up. And that's what I did. I pumped it up. And I put, I listed it for $69. My nifty reseller tool sent out a 10% offer off, which got it down to the $62. So, you know, I talk about that nifty reseller tool all the time. Caught this customer still interested in this item with a percentage discount, and they bought it. They accepted that offer from my nifty tool. So my earnings are $49. That's how much Poshmark's going to give me after fees. And I paid $5. So this is another item I'm making $44 in profit. And honestly, sometimes I'm thankful for some of these higher priced items selling because honestly, it makes me feel like I know what I'm doing. You guys are like, what? We listen to you all the time. Don't you know what you're doing? I mean, I do. Just it feels really nice to have some of these higher priced sales. Obviously, you guys know I run on bread and butter, clearly. But it's nice just to have some of these higher priced items to sell. So I put it in one of my really large poly mailer bags, but I'm also putting it in a box. The leather is very supple and it's a very flexible item, but I also don't want to like not protect it. It actually fits really nice into this USPS ground shoe box. I almost put this in a priority mail box. It's Poshmark, and I'm just so used to pulling out those priority mail boxes that I just pulled it. I even taped it up. It's right here. Whoops, almost threw it in here. Don't do that. Poshmark is now USPS ground, your own shipping supplies, or their provided USPS ground shipping boxes. Don't forget, sorry, there's that tape. And away we go. Poshmark is ground advantage now. It's been, I don't know, a couple weeks now that it's been ground advantage instead of priority mail. It's been priority mail for as long as I can remember. I think since the start of Poshmark. So even I forget sometimes. They provide, of course, the label Poshmark does, and that is done. Is there another Poshmark order, or are we all done with those? So some great sales, great dollar amount sales. Like I said, if I could do that all the time, then that would be great. Here's another nice fall item that a lot of other people probably would pass on. It's a bread and butter. You're not going to make $1 million off of it. It's Eddie Bauer, which I pass on 90% of the time, with the exception of higher quality materials or outerwear, like a puffer jacket, some kind of vest, those things. Eddie Bauer, but this was a plus size 18, which is like a 1X. Midi length, like classic gray. It's minimalist, it's career, it's secretary. You know, like I said, I pass on most Eddie Bauer. They're slow movers. Maybe like 5 years ago, I would pick up a lot of Eddie Bauer. This sold for $14 plus shipping. That's a lower end bread and butter for me. I like my bread and butter to be more times towards like the $20 range, but still okay if you're picking it up at the bins or pay by the pound place or garage sale for $1. Still not terrible. Midi maxi length skirts, velvet, wool, blend, all those things are going to do okay for you in fall and winter. get this in here. So, going out, well, interesting enough, this is going out to Florida, which I think is still pretty warm down there. Is anybody from Florida? I mean, like I said, this weekend it was like 83 here in Wisconsin, but it's finally going to drop this week. So we'll finally get a little bit cooler weather. This is weighing, and because it was like a heavier material, it's 14 ounces. Again, just putting it in my little poly mailers, and $6.99 actually to ship this down to Florida. And away we go. So once I get all this done, then I'm going to work on my whatnot. I have a couple videos coming this week. I just had a crazy whatnot show. I have that Depop debacle. Maybe that's what I should call it. Depop debacle going on. That's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, reselling is not for the faint of heart. And there's always something going on, but again, maybe that it keeps it interesting, because sometimes I feel like my page is boring, and like the people who watch my stuff, like a lot of them pop off after like 8 minutes, and I'm like, I get it. I wouldn't want to listen to myself for that long either. I'm boring. I'm like, how can I spice things up a little bit? What do I gotta do? Put on a little makeup? Do a little shimmy? I don't know. This is North Face. This also sat for me for a long time. I would say I've had this a year, maybe longer. North Face, size large, men's button up, or it's a modal blend. I loved the orange plaid. I think it's really handsome. Maybe that's why it did finally sell in fall here, is this like orange plaid color. High quality, higher priced item. Honestly, most North Face I'm passing on. Unless again, it's like outerwear, vests, something wool blend, you know, some kind of base layer. That's really the only exception on some of these adventure outdoors brands that unfortunately no longer have a ton of value. This North Face sold for $9. That's really not worth it. For me, I thought it was handsome, but I don't think it was substantial enough, and people like the North Face resale value has gone down and the sell-through is slow. So lots of wah-wahs as far as I'm concerned. $9? Meh. It's not enough meat on the bones. We need like enough meat on the bones like me. Like if I'm selling things, you know, they say that, like, I need something substantial. $9 doesn't really put enough dollars out there for my time, you know? I mean, everybody's different. And really, if I feel like compared to a lot of people, I'm pretty reasonable in my expectations of my business. My bread and butter are $20 sales, and I think that's really reasonable. But $9 is just not cutting it. This is going out to California, and it's 7 ounces. Even at 7 ounces out to California, it's going to cost me $5.24. So that's kind of pricey for only 7 ounces. But, oh well, it's gone. So I have also set up I have some new goals. Like I said, I have some videos coming that you guys are gonna be surprised at a few things I have to say. But I also want to clear out some of this old stuff. So if it's been here a year, it's been too long, time to move on. And I want to get rid of it so I can focus more on substantial pieces. Now here's another, this is an okay bread and butter. It is vintage Y2K sheer floral print, long sleeve top, extra large cottagecore prairie. See this beautiful embroidery here? It was lightweight and sheer from the bins. So again, this probably cost me like 30-40 cents. This is a style-based pickup, obviously. The fact that it's sheared, it has this really pretty floral embroidery. It's boho, it's prairie, it's fairy, honestly. A lot of style-based reasons to pick this up. Low cost of goods at the bins. And it's going out to Alabama. And, you know, that's okay. That's like a solid bread and butter for me. Ideally, it's more like 20. It's only 4 ounces out to Alabama. And that's going to cost $4.76. I also need to be very strict on the athletic pieces I'm picking up. This next item also sat a very long time, and just leggings in general, a lot of them are sitting for a while, and I just don't think a lot of them are worth it. If I pick them up, I think it would be more of a whatnot item. And that's another thing that I'm going to have to assess in my business now that whatnot is a pretty core part of my business now. I'm on my 15th show. Is what items are worth it for whatnot, or what do I put on eBay, Poshmark, and Depop. This is the brand Tough Athletics cropped workout pants. Never pick this up again. It only sold for $5. Hey, I'm a regular person too. I pick up dumb things sometimes. And I'd never pick up this brand pretty much ever again. Maybe if it was new with tags and I could put it in a whatnot show from the bins, then maybe it would be worth it. So another wah. I do have a style-based and a brand-based, style-based good sale coming up. So stick with me for couple more seconds here. This weighs, I was going to ask the lady, since we're at 30 minutes in, I know only people who actually like me are still here. I'm going to throw this out there on my ship with me. So I'm obviously fair-skinned, light-eyed, and I do a lot of squinting. Literally, my whole family, we're like squinters because we have light eyes and pale skin, and I think we're just really sensitive to the sun. I'm getting old, and I'm getting some wrinkles around my eyes. Where are my girls at who have some kind of health and beauty suggestions? I mean, I'm getting old enough where I'm getting some wrinkles. It's fine. But I'm getting a lot like right around my eyes because I go like this all the time. Look how small my eyes get. And I'm getting a lot of wrinkles around my eyes here. And I really need something to start doing like at night to help out. So anybody want to jump in? If there's anybody out there that might have a suggestion, and honestly, ladies, let's talk about it in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys use, anything that you think that would help, because I am just sensitive to the sun and I do a lot of this. Also because I'm blind. I'm gonna be a really bad senior because I can't hear, I can't see, and I was born with a bad back. So they might as well I better find a good senior home. That's all I gotta say, because I'm gonna be a mess in about 20 years. Literally. So wait, there goes that athletic. But anybody has any suggestions, I am all ears. Let's get to a couple of these last nice items before I lose you guys, because we're talking about eye creams on a reselling channel. I like to be a little bit personal with you guys sometimes though, because the reselling part sometimes, you know, it gets boring. This was a style-based pickup. The brand is Vocal, and really the only reason why I picked this up, I've picked it up a handful of times, is because of style reasons. This is an open front cardigan with a fall suede and a lace accent. And again, perfect time for this to sell. This gives me equestrian, obviously, like kind of ranchy boho vibes. Could also be grunge. It's a mix of this suede and this lace. Size medium. Pick this up at the bins. But it's a great style-based pickup because really Vocal is style-based. There's a lot of like rocker, grunge, skater. Like I said, this is more of like maybe a boho equestrian. Open front cardigan. Perfect for this time of year. Beautiful brown color. $23 plus shipping. Another great pickup at the bins. And the timing makes perfect sense. Going out to Lillian, I love that name, very pretty, out in Texas, which actually also makes sense with this suede and lace combo. Makes sense that it would go out to Texas. So that's a great, very, very solid bread and butter sale. $23 from the bins. This probably cost me about $1. We'll weigh it here in a second. 8 ounces, 9 ounces. So you're about almost half a pound. So really it cost me a little bit less than $1. And it sold for 23. I think that's great. See, even now I'm still squinting. See that? I'm just like really sensitive. I need to wear sunglasses all the time. $5.86 going down to Texas because it was 9 ounces. Yeah, maybe that's why some people wear sunglasses all the time. They're just really sensitive to the sun. And now I just got all these, like I need some kind of like mask or something to wear to bed. Maybe that should be my thumbnail. Yeah, reseller business, talking about lady stuff. That was a great sale. Very happy with that sale. I don't know if anyone's going to be listening to me at this point because they're probably like, this lady's crazy. I'm going on to the next person. Don't blame you. This is a bread and butter plus size. You know, I don't know why this one took so long to sell. I honestly think it was the picture. I didn't do a great job on the picture. It only sold for $5. Avenue also, I'm being a lot more selective on. I have found that Avenue and Lane Bryant for plus size really is moving very slow for me. I think it's the brand. I think it's that the plus size market is kind of saturated because a lot of people are losing weight and selling or donating their clothes. And the picture, I could have redone the picture on this one. It wasn't great. $5 also is not great, but I'm happy to move it. It's still a nice item. You know, I always want to mention on here, like, when I'm talking about certain items or sell-through rates or brands, it doesn't mean that the items aren't nice, you know, but we're in the reselling business. I'm in the reselling business, and I do have to think about how long items sit and what they're actually worth. There are plenty of higher priced items and designer brands that I pass on because reselling online, they just don't do well. So unfortunately for me sometimes, and it's hard for me to pass on expensive stuff, but the resale price just isn't good enough to make it worth it. And I've learned that on a lot of brands. I almost should do a video on brands, designer brands I would probably pass on, or make sure your cost is very low, because not even just designer, all brands, and you know, just brands in general. Eddie Bauer is a kind of pricey, like as far as like a mid-range athletic brand or adventure outdoors brand. Obviously it's not a Patagonia, but their items are still pretty expensive. If you go to buy one of their zip-ups or vests in the store, you're looking at $70. But the resale value isn't that great. All right, I better get going because I'm already at 38 minutes here. And I still have 17 whatnot items to ship. I'm going to just show you guys these quick. 2 great shoe sales. I showed you guys these. I picked them up at the bins. I was happy that they were in such great condition. They are oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I really am. Italian. The brand is Fly Flat, made in Italy. Push on clogs. Oh my gosh, slip on clog shoes, size 39, 8.5. Really nice neutral color, basic, casual, everyday, comfy shoe. Fly Flat is a solid shoe brand. You're not gonna get millions, but this sold for $25.81 plus shipping, and I got them at the bins. I would bet they weigh about a pound. Yeah, these only weigh 11 ounces. So I actually paid probably $1.20 for these. Great sale. Fly Flat, made in Italy, genuine leather, clog mule, slip on. And then these. I actually got these from the bins. I put them in my shop. They did not sell, so I brought them home to list them. They are Mark Fisher, size 11, tall boots. And they're leather, and they have a zip with the gold tone hardware, which is nice. So these are perfect for this time of year, right? This makes sense that this is selling. A little bit heavier. I probably paid $3 to $4 for these at the bins. A lot of times these boots are so shot at the bins, they're not even worth picking up. I'm surprised that they were in such great condition. Very pretty. In good condition, Mark Fisher, size 11, tall brown boots. All those things is why I picked these up. I probably paid about $3, $4. And they sold for $29 plus my heavy shipping because these are heavier, like I said. So I'm going to throw these in a box and I will be done with my eBay and Poshmark shipping for the day. Remember, that was $385.85. And then from there, I am pushing this aside and I have 17 shipments to get out for my whatnot. It's going to be a long morning, probably early afternoon. Most likely I'll have to come back down later after I make dinner and everything for my kids and get some listings done because, yeah, all this will take me a while, but that's okay. Total for the weekend in sales is $751.46 with eBay, Poshmark, and then the whatnot. And I'm very happy with that. And I'm getting pretty good at my shoes, picking up some quality shoes like these Fly Flats. They're in really good condition. Condition is everything in shoes, and that's really hard to stick to at the bins because your cost of goods is so low, but a lot of times the shoes are shot there. I mean, you have to do a lot of work, and I am not someone who's going to clean up my shoes. I sell them pretty much as is. So I have to be very mindful of what I pick up because I'm going to sell it as it is. So if the soles, check your soles. That's one of the t-shirts. Check your soles. And I'm going to put like a shoe on it or something. I don't know. I'm telling you. In 6 months, I'm going to be rocking some shirts of the things that we say here. Check your sole. You know, just things are always messed up on them. Or a lot of times, since they rubber band, my Goodwill bins rubber bands their stuff, there's always like wear where the rubber band is, or like this, the fall leather's peeling. There's just all kinds. These are really nice. So I'm happy that I found those. All right, you guys, I love you so much. If you made it to the end, bless you, love you so much. I hope something here was helpful or useful, and I'm just not blabbing to myself. Sorry, it was like I couldn't get my brain going for a second. A great weekend of sales. I'm very happy. I hope you guys had a great weekend as well. Check in, let me know how you're doing, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.